Part 2. Silver Snow. Garland Moon. The Chaos of War. The Resistance Army successfully takes Fort Mercius. Their victory celebrations are cut short, however, when javelins of light pierce the sky and destroy much of the fort. With nowhere else to go, the Resistance Army withdraws to Garreg-Mach. Under the guise of surrender, they secretly prepare for a surprise attack on the Imperial capital.
It seems the preparations for our invasion of Enbar are advancing smoothly. All has been laid out so we can move swiftly to the necessary locations. Until the time comes, please try to keep your spirits up. There is something else. I have heard that Rhea is potentially being held captive in the capital. The information could not be confirmed, nor even properly sourced, but even still, we cannot ignore the possibility. Please bear that in mind. Yes, we must not let anything get in the way of rescuing her.
We're finally heading to Enbar, the capital city of the Empire. So many memories there.
Oh yeah? So you've been there before?
Oh, yes. Though it was a very long time ago.
A very long time. You must have been really young. I'm surprised you remember.
The main stage of the Mittelfrank Opera Company is in the capital. I hope no one from the opera gets swept up in the coming chaos.
There are many buildings straight out of the history books in Enbar. I hope they remain unharmed.
You're worried about the buildings? What about the people? You're an odd one, Lynn.
I am also worried about the people. I'm sure my father is in a palace in the capital.
Many people reside in Enbar, so we must take care to avoid needless casualties.
I don't think Edelgard cares much for avoiding casualties, so that's probably impossible. I bet we'll be fighting until one side or the other is completely destroyed.
Bernie, you should be staying away from thoughts like that. We will be defeating her with our full power. Our enemy has great strength, but we will not be losing.
I could not agree more. Remember, even if our surprise attack works, a force even greater than all of our troops combined awaits us in the capital. 0 casualties is always the goal, but we must not underestimate the situation at hand.
Still, we must not hold ourselves to the same twisted morality that she does. After all, we are here to stop her, not to follow her down her dark path. We all choose to fight back. We are all in this together.
You're right, Flayn. We've got to try our hardest.
A different path from Edelgard.
There's no stopping her. The only way to end this is to kill her.
Our choice. Flayn, your words are wonderful and full of bravery.
Let's go! We can't lose!
The situation is dire, and so I will do what must be done.
I am certain that if we join our strength, we can win this battle without losing a single soul.
Ten years ago, Dagda and Bridget attacked the Empire from the west. Their final target was the capital. But they were countered at a port town long before they reached their destination. I guess our attempt has been more successful than theirs, all things considered.
Yes, Professor. 5 years ago, Edelgard said a thing to me. Bridget is a vassal of the Empire. But she also said I always have the freedom to be choosing whether I am with or not with her. I will become the ruler of Bridget. So she said I must make my own path. So now, my path and her path will be colliding.
Fighting in the capital? Ugh. And we're fighting against Edelgard. Double ugh. But with you leading us, Professor, I know we'll win. Yeah! Woohoo! Fighting! I'm a little scared, to be honest. I'm just shouting to relieve the tension, but I'll be fine.
So, Enbar, the capital of the Empire. It's finally time. I never thought I'd live this long. It's like any battle, really. Stay calm, stay focused. Don't give in to the enemy or your own fear. Striking down the Empire is my offering to His Highness. I left the kingdom. What am I saying?
The Death Knight is no ordinary knight. I will prey upon him. I will quench my blade's thirst with his blood. His focus is on fighting you, I'm sure. But mine will be the last face he sees.
Looks like we're nearing the end of this struggle. I'm sure Lady Rhea is on tenterhooks waiting for me to swoop in and rescue her. I was just kidding. Pay me no mind. Lady Rhea's not waiting for me, I know, no matter how much I might wish she were. She's waiting for you. Professor!
Hi.
Those things appeared as soon as we got ourselves set up in Fort Mercius.
Right.
Invading the capital and smashing the Empire. I wonder if doing so could really end this war. Care to share your thoughts, Professor? Perhaps you feel similarly to me. The whole puts me on edge. Although for now, better to focus my efforts on the fight at hand.
Enbar. Never in my wildest dreams did I imagine I'd be returning like this. Of course, most of the nobles in the Empire make their home in the capital. In the kingdom, all nobles live in their own domains. So if the capital is attacked, it doesn't necessarily affect them directly. What will happen to the Imperial nobles when their capital becomes a battlefield?
Professor, we're about to put the finishing touches on this war. I wonder how Fodlan will look without the backdrop of death and destruction. I can't wait to see it. On the other hand, I'm terrified of what the future might hold. Who knows if I'll survive the assault on the capital?
We're forming small units and slowly sneaking into the Empire's territory. That allows us to conceal ourselves along the path of the main army's progress, so that by the time we reach the capital, we can all join forces again. However, if any of the units are discovered before we can rendezvous, the whole plan is a bust. I'm sure it will work out, though. The Empire seems to think we've abandoned our plans to invade, so they're likely not keeping as close a watch.
the Empire's army should be divided now, with significant troops still in the west. If they don't assert their authority over the Old Kingdom's lords, they'll never know when an uprising might start. Ironically, as soon as we capture the Imperial capital, the Old Kingdom's lords are likely to rise up immediately.
No.
Professor! My mother might be in the city. I don't have many good memories of her, if I'm being honest, but she's dearer to me than my father. If you happen to see her, please make sure she's not caught up in all the fighting. She's only a civil servant, so hopefully she takes a cue from her burning and stays inside.
Professor?
In the opera, actors came and went all the time, but the people behind the scenes would stay forever. I'll bet I'd know a few of them now, even after all these years. I wonder if they've left the capital. I certainly hope so.
Considered... They used to call Enbar the city of Saros. To assault it together with the knights is surreal. If Saros were alive today, I wonder what she might make of our war. In Enbar, there was once a southern church, and apparently a bishop was dispatched to it. 100 years ago, the southern church became entangled in an insurrection. Until 5 years ago, the Empire and the church maintained a certain distance from one another. Professor?
We're heading up to Embar next. I hope I make it back safe so I can tell my little sis about it.
I hear they got a neat opera house there, where Manuela used to perform. What was it called again?
Haha, that's the one. My little sis always goes on about how much she'd like to see him perform. I know we can't see a show, but do you think we could at least see the building?
Huh?
Just recently, the fish in the pond suddenly started thrashing around like mad. I didn't know what was going on. And then I saw something gleaming in the southeastern sky. It happened right when you were out on campaign. I wonder what it could have been.
Professor, so if we win the war, will you become the ruler of Fodlan? You seem unsure, so I guess anything is possible. For what it's worth, I think you'd make a good ruler. You could bring peace to the land.
Yes! I did it! I finally got a hit on you!
Not bad. I didn't expect you to come this far.
I've been training non-stop, so it had to happen eventually. I've been using my head a lot more, too. I'm not the same old Caspar.
Then what kind of Caspar are you?
Well, if you're Thunder Catherine, then, I get to be... Lightning Lightning Caspar. No, that's no good. Fiery, no. Burning Caspar?
I wonder where all this fire of yours comes from.
It comes from wanting to fight by your side.
Sorry, what?
You said before that you don't want to keep an eye on me. Something about not being my babysitter?
Yes, I seem to recall saying something like that.
That's why I decided I needed to train and get to your level instead. I'm gonna keep getting stronger. That way I'll never have to leave your side. You and me were...
Stop. That's enough for now. You've only managed to hit me once. Let's see if you can actually beat me. If that happens, I'll hear your request.
In that case, you'd better get ready. I'm real fired up now. You're gonna have to start calling me... Inferno Caspar!
Eating delicious food really takes my worries away.
This is delicious! My absolute favorite!
It's been so long since I've been to the Imperial Capital. I used to go to the opera there with my mother and brother. I never thought my return would be like this.
Ever since the Empire declared war on the Church, we have lost all contact with the priests and monks who were in the Imperial capital. I expect there's nothing we can do but pray for their safety. But realistically, it's probably too late.
Here we are, facing the final battle with the Empire. It's been a long, difficult struggle. We have to get Lady Rhea back. And we have to crush the Empire in the name of Captain Geralt. I don't know what comes next, but we can sort out those details later.
Pardon me. Greetings, Professor. Nothing to report. Momentum's really picking up for this final battle, huh? Even I'm starting to feel tense. Me! Enbar's history goes back 1,400 years. That even predates the founding of the Empire. It's one of the sacred sites of the Seros faith, so it's a pretty big deal. But hey, no need to worry about the monastery while you're fighting the final battle. I've got it covered. I'll defend it to my last.
According to a merchant who just came from the Alliance, my little bro made it home in one piece. But House Albrecht lost a lot of troops. So did the nearby lords. Things are real bad over there. If we don't stop the Empire soon, there won't be anyone left to help fight them off.
Hey! Really now? There's unrest everywhere these days. All of my fellow merchants seem to be endangered. I hope things go back to normal soon. People need more to smile about, aside from my great deals. Hey, how about a favor?
Hey!
Professor, the whole of the capital is going to be a battleground. The city has such a long heritage. Even so, perhaps it deserves to be reduced to ashes for once. But we can't let the common folk get hurt. We should try to confine the damage to the noble section of town.
Pardon me.
Once this battle is over, what will become of Fargus and Fodlan? My hope is for a world at peace. A world in which this present turmoil is a thing of the past, the stuff of legends. I believe those who survived the atrocities of war have a duty to create a new, better world. So the sooner we can stamp out such turmoil, the better. We must win, Professor. There is no alternative here. I won't allow for anything else.
That's so. Some of my soldier friends departed for Empire territory a few days ago. They wore trader clothes and hid their weapons in their luggage, so that even if they encounter patrols, they won't arouse suspicion. Another squad dressed as traveling artists. It's like a game of dress-up, but with lives at stake.
It's such a relief that we've made it this far without having to fight my father. You bet I'm scared. The Imperial Army hasn't lost a single battle with my father on the field. If he turns up as a reinforcement during the assault, we might lose. I'd better make my peace with that.
Professor!
Well... I was born in Enbar. My mother and father met in a church there. Not too long after, I was brought into the world. I do not understand how war can happen in such a precious place. It is most regrettable.
Oh.
So, did you know? A magnificent canal flows through downtown Enbar. It's said to have been constructed under the guidance of Saint Seros before the Empire was even formed. Ever since, that canal has been a major lifeline for the capital's development. And now this is how the Empire repays it. Truly, no good deed goes unpunished.
Hi.
Professor, let me sing for you. Do you not like my voice? It would make a Pegasus dance with joy.
This is no good. Sing from your diaphragm. Law. Get it? Law.
Still contemplating, I see.
Without so much as a word, you've read me through and through. Since last we spoke, I've been thinking a lot about my future. How I want to spend my life. It's a lot to think about, and I haven't entirely sorted out where I'm going. I think I need more time to grow.
On the contrary, you have given this honest and sincere thought. I am quite impressed, actually.
You're impressed with me?
Worry about the future is not unique to youth. It is human nature. At the risk of being overbearing, might I offer you one more piece of advice?
Of course.
Have you considered what your life would be like had you not been born with a crest?
Hmm.
Do you suppose that you would have been ordinary? Insignificant? I do not think so. Even without a crest, such a promising young lady as yourself would have a bright future ahead of her.
Sedith,
I am not typically inclined to flattery, so I hope you will take my words to heart. Have faith in yourself. If you trade that faith for a misplaced pride in your crest, I will have to reassess your character.
I've no intention of doing such a thing. It will take me time and experience, but I will find my path and walk it proudly.
I am glad to hear it, Ingrid.
How the crimson rain of pain it came, falling hard upon a land aflame, when the sacred blade it split the sky until the heavens heard our cry. In the hour of vengeance will you heed the call? On the red fields of revenge will you help avenge? We must fight strong and stand tall.
Oh, Ferdinand, that song.
Manuela, hello. What a treat. It is most rare to see you at the training grounds. I have never had the honor of sparring with a princess. Why not grab a sword?
Ferdinand, that's called changing the subject. That song you were singing, is it the one you said made such an impression on you?
So you heard me. I hope it was not too grating on your ears.
You've nothing at all to be embarrassed about. I'm pleased if one of my songs stayed with you like that. Oh, it really takes me back. I remember the big battle in the first act. How the crimson rain of pain it came, falling hard upon a land of flame, when the sacred blade it split the sky, until the heavens heard our cry. In the hour of vengeance, will you heed the call? On the red fields of revenge, will you help avenge? We must fight strong and stand tall. Wow. My heyday is behind me. That's for sure.
No, that was wonderful. Exactly the voice I recall from my childhood. To have witnessed this performance in such an intimate setting, I am deeply moved. I cannot stop trembling. I feel as though I am going to cry. You have shaken me to my very core.
All right, Ferdinand, relax. I can see that it's affected you deeply.
You made a little boy's cherished dream come true. Perhaps you can help realize one more.
Another one? And what would that be?
Would you do the sword dance with me? The one that accompanied the song? It had a part for a male performer, if I recall. I would be truly honored.
I'm sure I can't do it as well now as I could then, but you're just so adorably... you. I can't resist.
Thank you so much. That has long been a dream of mine, and you made it a reality.
I gotta say, Ferdinand, you're full of surprises. It was like dancing with the pro. Perfect timing, always in step.
All thanks to you. You inspired me.
Or perhaps it was you who inspired me.
Ah, Dorothea. I am surprised to find you here. I did not think you were all that religious.
There's a lot you don't know, Ferdy. But you're right. I'd hardly call myself devout. After all, it was thanks to the goddess and her noble regime that I suffered so much as a child.
You must be quite brave to speak so coarsely in this hallowed place. But what do you mean about suffering as a child?
Do I really have to tell you? Oh, forget it. I'm sure you already know that I'm an orphan. I grew up in the alleys of Enbar, begging for coins, eating scraps, drinking from drains.
I see. I remember seeing street children around the city.
I could have died. Then the right person overheard me singing. And suddenly I was in the opera. I was a songstress. And my goodness, did the nobles like me. The people who used to spit on me and call me an urchin, they praised my voice and my beauty. A nobleman who once kicked me gave me the most gorgeous shoes. I almost asked if it was a joke.
So that is why you despise the nobility. But why do you think I am the same as them? Do you really believe that is the kind of man I am? You think I would ever treat people differently based on appearances? There is nothing noble about that.
Oh, really? You're something different? That's not how I remember things. It was the very day that I was discovered. I was in high spirits. Nothing was wrong in the world. I secretly bathed in one of the town's fountains, hoping to wash off some of the dirt from the streets. I sang the same song the opera composer overheard earlier that day. And that's when you appeared.
Me? No, it could not have been.
Don't play dumb. You glared at me, the same look from every other noble, then you ran off. When we met at the academy, you were a different person. All smiles and friendly words. You were like a bee, Ferdinand. A bee attracted to a flower in full bloom.
So it was you then, singing that song. Dorothea, please listen. This is a misunderstanding. When I saw you, I could not take my eyes off you. I was hypnotized. Your beautiful voice, your elegant face, droplets of water on your skin that glittered in the sun. I thought you were a water nymph.
Stop it, don't lie to me.
No, it is true. I was only a child. The vision overwhelmed me. That is why I ran. I plucked up the courage to return, but no one was there. I thought perhaps it was a dream.
Maybe I can believe you. I've wanted to, ever since the day you made me those treats. I thought then that maybe you weren't like the others, but there's a lot I have to let go of, Ferdy.
Of course. I am glad we had this conversation. You know, I do not mind you thinking of me as a bee. Life as a simple drone, circling a queen. It actually sounds quite wonderful.
Don't drones keep the queen safe from other bugs? I like the sound of that.
All right, Yurikins, isn't it about time you let go of this grudge? I'm sorry I dragged you out onto the stage, but I can't believe you're still holding it against me.
I bear no grudge.
Then why do you get this stony look and face the other way anytime you catch a glimpse of me?
Oh, Ladybird. Truth be told, when I see you, it reminds me of my own self-loathing, of my past.
Huh. I didn't know you were carrying something like that.
You rose up from your hardships and became the lead singer for a prestigious opera, all on your own, while I made my way through the world by licking the boots of wretched nobles, watching you on stage from the sidelines. It wasn't until recently that I felt a real sense of accomplishment in my life. But recalling that first pivotal moment when I saw you on stage, you were brilliant. You shone like nothing I'd ever seen. Whenever I see you, Ladybird, I'm reminded of that moment. And in that moment, I had never felt so filthy and unlovable in all my...
That's why you don't like singing? There's got to be more to it than that.
Back then, the Imperial capital was swarming with disgusting nobles. All of them vying for your attention, for the love of the Dorothea. Many were willing to compromise with an inferior substitute. If they couldn't have you, perhaps someone else was capable of singing just as sweetly.
You do what you must to chase your dreams. You say it left you filthy and unlovable, but my life didn't leave me unscathed either. There's not much love left in what I do. There was once, of course. As a child, I lived for singing. No matter how hard times got, I always had that. I counted myself so lucky to have met Manuela and joined the opera. But the more I sang for a living, the less certain I was that I loved it anymore.
You're a tricky one to assess. I can't tell if you're too wise or too naive for your own good. Whether or not your heart's in it now,
You certainly didn't appear to hate it back then. I'd never seen you beam so brightly, as you did when you helped me train for the performance.
You might be onto something. I felt genuinely happy in that moment.
You just lost your spark for singing. Nothing more. It's how I feel about it in a way. How about this? Why not join an opera that doesn't have dealings with nobles?
That's a great idea, actually. We'll start something new together, you and me.
I don't know about all that now.
The world is full of people who fell through the cracks just like us. We'll take them in whenever we can and aim to become Fodlan's premier opera company. I can't remember the last time I was this fired up. Though we'll have to table it until after the war.
Our own one-of-a-kind traveling opera. You know, that does sound fairly thrilling. I've no doubts it could help deepen our pockets.
Leave it to you to take all the romance out of it. But I know you're an idealist deep down.
Takes one to know one. I must say, I do enjoy seeing your mischievous side at work.
I'll take that as a compliment. I could say the same for you, too. It's exactly why I'm comfortable sharing this stream with you.
Please?
I have been to the kingdom capital before, but never to the imperial one. They say it is the biggest city in all Fodlan, so we will no doubt have many civilians to worry about. I hope we can preserve the city. If it is destroyed in the battle, the people will face hardship. I would say we should avoid the use of excessive force, but I suppose that hinges upon the Empire's terms of engagement.
I'm from the Empire myself, and I still have some relatives in Inbar. I hope they get out in time, but I've no way of contacting them. I guess all I can do is pray they're not harmed.
Pardon me.
Professor!
Hey!
Hello. There's unrest everywhere these days. All of my fellow merchants seem to be endangered. I hope things go back to normal soon. People need more to smile about, aside from my great deals. Welcome! Is that the one? Thanks a bunch. Come back soon!
Those lights that came down on Mercius. I might have seen them before, here at Garrick Mach. They looked like they'd rained down right on top of us, but at the last moment they veered off. I think they crashed into ALL. Must have been the goddess's blessing that protected us.
Hey you, listen up. I've got something to report. Remember that battle 6 years ago? Oh, I'm guessing you do. Anyway, remember that knight who watched over Abyss with me for a while? I've been on the hunt for his whereabouts, and I finally found out what happened to him. My friend is no longer with us. Dead. Figured as much, but now I know for sure. I did get to meet his big sister at least. I'll never have the chance to thank him for our time together. But maybe I can find a way to help out his sister instead. Bet he would have liked that.
Huh?
hear there was a pretty spectacular battle up there recently, but we don't hear a lot about that stuff. There was a lot of talk when it first started, but 5 years on, it's just a fact of life. What? There have been lots of battles on the surface recently? I hadn't heard. See what I mean?
The Kingdom and the Alliance both came out of the last fight looking battered and broken. If the Empire is wiped out too, then who's left to run the joint? I guess the next leader of Fodlan could be you. I'd be pretty psyched about that. That might come in handy. Thanks. For me? I'm not gonna lie, this is pretty great.
Is it true what they say? That the Archbishop is a captive of the Empire? I've never heard of anything so brash in all the Empire's long history. It is vexing that Lady Edelgard's true motives elude me. If only I still had noble connections to draw on. The loss of my house has proven to be a thorn in my side again and again. Why, how thoughtful of you! Why, how thoughtful of you! Why, how thoughtful of you!
Feels like a death wish. Attacking the Imperial capital like this. You don't really think we're going to beat the Empire with these paltry forces, do you? Is that so? Oh, how I love your resolve. Thanks. I'll take good care of this. Thanks. I'll take good care of this. Thanks. I'll take good care of this.
No. Please, you can't tell anyone you saw me here. I'm in hiding from the army. I couldn't stand the war, the violence. I had to get away. But now that I've deserted, I can't go home. Justice, ambition, what does any of that matter if you're dead? I just want to live. Is that so wrong?
Why, hello there. If it is your wish. Everything is within your grasp. If it is your wish. Everything is within your grasp. If it is your wish. Everything is within your grasp. If it is your wish. Everything is within your grasp. If it is your wish. Everything is within your grasp. If it is your wish. Everything is within your grasp. If it is your wish. Everything is within your grasp. If it is your wish. Everything is within your grasp. If it is your wish. Everything is within your grasp. If it is your wish. Everything is within your grasp. If it is your wish. Everything is within your grasp. If it is your wish. Everything is within your grasp. If it is your wish. Everything is within your grasp. If it is your wish. Everything is within your grasp. If it is your wish. Everything is within your grasp. If it is your wish. Everything is within your grasp.
Come back soon now.
How incredible. What a striking color. Ah, Professor, look at this stone. Such a brilliant blue. You don't normally find stones like this around here. I ought to grind it down. I wonder if it would still be the same color. To make pigment for my art. Good supplies don't come cheap. I prefer to make my own. Blue is especially expensive. How fortunate that I chanced upon this from blueness. Oh, I'm sorry. There I go again, blathering on and on about painting. Oh, yes. But I know that I can get rather caught up in it and, enthusiastic. You know, Professor, no matter how impassioned I become about my art, you never hold it against me. One could argue that I'm better off preparing for our next battle. I am becoming a knight. Oh, Professor, please don't say things like that. I gave up on my artistic dreams long ago. To support my family, I will be a knight. That's that. No. I know it's the right thing to do. I'll continue with my art as a hobby. I don't think I could ever give it up. When I see something beautiful, I can't suppress the urge to paint it. I don't have a choice. And if my art can bring happiness to even one person, that's good enough for me. Professor, I have a favor to ask. I'm painting a portrait right now. When it's finished, I'd like to give the piece to you. Would you take it? Perhaps it can bring you a little happiness. That will have made the effort well worth it. Oh, excellent! Is that a promise? Because I'm really going to put my heart in it. That is, I'm going to enjoy partaking in this casual hobby of mine.
A moment, please.
Right.
Professor! Oh.
Professor.
Hey, Professor. Can we talk? I feel terrible about the last time we spoke. I was trying to apologize and just ended up losing my temper again. I'm really sorry. I figured you'd say that, but I still feel like an idiot. Somehow, I just have a hard time keeping my feelings in check around you. And I think if I don't just tell you what I'm thinking, we'll never be able to have a normal conversation. So, let me clear the air. I want us to, engage. Yeah, wait, what? No, I mean in a duel. I know it's a sudden thing to ask, but I'm not going to feel settled until I know where I stand. Would you do that for me? Good. Don't hold back, okay? I want to see you at your absolute best. Phew. You got me. I'm completely outmatched. Maybe, but you were definitely stronger. Honestly, that's what I needed to see. You're a true successor to Captain Gerald's style of swordplay. I almost felt like you were him. I thought I was competing with you, but that's as pointless as competing against him would have been. So instead of that, I'm going to focus on keeping the promise I made to him. Captain Gerald said that if anything should happen to him, I'd have to support you in his place. He didn't sound serious at the time, but it was right before before we lost him. So I've decided. I'd like to do just what he said. I know I'm not as strong as I need to be, but I swear to you, I'll train until I am. What do you say? Can I call you my employer?
Yes, it's official. I'll protect you no matter what.
Right.
Rhea will be somewhere in the city. I wonder if she can sense us coming. If we are able to save her, then I expect you will learn many secrets that have hitherto been kept from you. Are you prepared for that? Excellent. The battle will soon be upon us. Let us both be at our best for what is to come.
Professor, we're finally going to the capital. This will be my chance to avenge Captain Gerald. Once we smash the Empire, I'm sure his soul will finally be able to rest in peace. Monica killed Captain Gerald for the Flame Emperor, and the Flame Emperor was Edelgard. I know that the future of all Fodlan rests on this battle. Nothing else is more important. But for me, this is personal. For Captain Gerald's sake, I'm going to give it all I've got and more.
Enbar's streets are paved with unhappy memories, Professor. I've avoided the damned place ever since I abandoned my nobility, swore never to return. Now here we are. To return in this manner, well, I can't say it is something I ever imagined.
Lady Rhea. Whenever I think about how we'll be seeing Lady Rhea real soon, I get happy and really get cleaning. We'll get there for sure, right? We'll see her again? I just gotta believe Lady Rhea is waiting for us in the capital. We just have to find her.
Hi there! Enbar is where the divine Saros, sent by the goddess, first appeared before mankind. Saint Saros then worked countless miracles there and offered guidance to the people. That's why Enbar is considered a holy place for the Church of Saros.
Lady Rhea.
Hey, you.
Teacher.
The information about Lady Rhea being held in the Imperial capital came from an Imperial soldier at Mercius? We can't discount the possibility that the enemy's feeding us fake information on purpose. Still, we can only move forward. It's all on you, Professor.
Professor, at last, the end is nigh. I love the Empire. Part of me wants it to survive, but I know that is not reasonable. The Empire's time has come. What we need now is a mighty leader who can rebuild Fodlan and rule it as a single nation. Nonetheless, saddens me that we will not have an Adrestian Emperor.
Pardon me.
Hey!
Looks like I've got them all. Nah, just wrapped up what I was doing. Need something, friend? Oh, you mean this? I use it to write down the names of everyone I've lost over the years. We lost a lot of lives back in the war. Some of them were only with me a little while. Some of them were family to me. Is what I write in this one. I used the old one to practice writing like the Elder taught me, way back when. Then, I repurposed it. Somewhere along the way, I figured I should record the names of those I've lost. The ones I failed to protect. There's nothing we can do for the dead, not in this world. Not really, anyway. And it's not like we know what happens after. So writing their names down here, that's all just for me. For the one who's still around. After all, they deserve to be remembered. Even if they're not here to see it. We all shared the same dream. They lost their lives to build that dream. And as their leader, it's on me to remember them, however I can. Oh, you think so, do you? And here I thought I was just the heartless villain in your eyes. Well, anyway, make of my notebook what you will. It doesn't matter much to me. If you go before I do, I'll make sure to add you in here as well. You heard me. I mean, you're not exactly one of my people, per se. At this point, I do have to admit that I can count on you. I kinda get the sense that if I hang around you, that dream I've been grasping for will become all the more real. So, do me a favor and don't go dying on me, okay? It'd take a lot to get rid of me. I was born under a particularly lucky star. Cat got your tongue? Looks like you want to say something but don't know how. That again? You don't give up easy, do you? All right. I'll toss you a bone. My name's not actually my name. But it's the one I'm enrolled with here at the Academy. The one I've hung on to as the adoptee of House Row. Come to think of it, the last I heard someone use my real name was... a very long time ago. From my mom. Who knows? Maybe someday I'll tell you. Perhaps if you decide to pursue that dream alongside me, you'll find out.
Pardon me.
Huh?
Oh, hey. I've been meaning to speak with you. I heard that you've been telling people not to worry so much about my condition. Is that a fact? No need to be coy. Thanks for doing that. But I do have one minor concern. You said that I haven't sighed in 5 years? What the heck is that about? Everyone's calling me half-decade happy now. First of all, terrible nickname. Second of all, you weren't even here. Did you just make that up? You asked around? That's such a weird thing to do. I'm fighting the urge to sigh right now. Well, the nickname's bogus. I have absolutely sighed in the last 5 years. You wouldn't believe what a hassle it was. Monsters rampaging willy-nilly through Abyss. Thanks to some help from the people underground, no one got hurt. But it was a close call. Maybe if you had been there, it wouldn't have been so much trouble. Yes, you. You've got the Sword of the Creator. That thing can chop through monsters like nothing. Are you fishing for compliments now? Fine, you're a good leader. You watch out for all of us. Even when the rest of the world turns and hides from me, I know you've got my back. You make me feel safe. Like I can be myself. Like I don't have to worry so much about keeping my emotions in check. I felt pretty sad all that time you were gone. I could have left Garrick Mach altogether. But then I started thinking, you might still be alive after all. So I went looking for you. Back to where you'd fallen and all. Forget I said anything. Look at me getting all mushy and sincere. How embarrassing. Let's just go back to earlier when I was giving you a hard time. Hey, I can feel embarrassed if I want to. I can feel however I want to feel. Whoa, did I really just say that? I think that's enough vulnerability for one day. I'll see you around.
Professor?
Another failure! How? Was there an error in my calculations? I had precious few materials as things stood. Where will I get more once these run out? Oh, don't act so rueful. You carried out my directions faithfully. Neither the credit nor the blame ought to be yours. My grand achievement is further away than I had hoped. House Nouvelle's future seems so dim. You're correct, of course. I mustn't be discouraged. It is hard to maintain one's patience after 5 years. But in the greater context of the history of House Nouvelle, 5 years is barely worth counting. I have been in a low place indeed to require so much reassurance. And for your reassurance, I am truly grateful. You have spurred me to continue my research. You've been useful to me in many ways, in fact. Research assistant, confidant, test subject. All of this is preparing you well for your greater role to come. My personal attendant! There are few as naturally servile as you in all of Fodlan. When House Nouvelle is at long last restored, we simply must find the proper position for you. Granted, this will be difficult, perhaps even impossible to accept, given your current status. But I rarely let the impossible stop me. I shall see it all done. The restoration of my house, installing you as my servant, and more. Are you ready for the next steps? Oh, come now. My sulk ended minutes ago. Do keep up. But on the rare occasion that I find myself at a loss, I grant you permission to lift my spirits. I don't know that I care for the hint of resignation in your tone, but no matter. I expect you to do your all for the sake of my house nonetheless.
What an interesting way of looking at life. Ah, it is you. Just at the right time. There is something I wanted to discuss. Something about you. I am starting to believe that you are a true hero. You hold the Lost Crest, you wield the Sword of the Creator, and you lead everyone in battle against great enemies. Not only that, but you are a strategist. You give everyone direction, so they know what needs to be done. You do not seem particularly ambitious, and yet you accomplish so much. I am not exaggerating. Everything I said is true. I have been reading about the history of Fargus, you know. The kingdom's founder, Lug, the king of lions, had 2 advisors. One of them was Pan, the undesiring strategist. According to historical records, Pan wanted nothing for himself. He devoted himself entirely to Lug. He had tremendous power,
but he never seemed concerned about his legacy. So in the old chronicles, there is hardly any mention of Pan's deeds. All that we know is that he helped Lug, his friend and leader. It is not surprising that you have never heard of him. I did not even know his name until recently. But when I watch how you conduct yourself, I feel that I am seeing the unknown deeds of Pan. It is only a thought, of course, but it makes me feel rather happy. Even if it is not in the pages of a history book, a life can be full of achievement. I know that I will never prevail over Edelgard. Even if I defeat her on the battlefield, I am what I am. Like you and this undesiring strategist, I will do what I am called to do, even if no mark of me remains in the history books.
Professor! Do you have a minute, Professor? I gotta talk to you. I've been thinking a lot about those brigands with the scorpion tattoos, and I realized something. I mean, I'll feel better if I get this off my chest, right? Okay, listen. I think I can't deny who I am. I know you were right 5 years ago when you told me not to chase after that suspicious guy. But I still can't get over the possibility that he might have hurt those kids. I would have regretted not stopping him for the rest of my life. There's no way I could forgive myself. It sounds awful to say, but the safety of those kids is more important to me than the knights we lost. I'm sorry, Professor, but I can't promise that I won't disobey your orders in the future. I know. It's too big a risk to keep me around. I won't cause a fuss. I'll just pack my bags and... Wait, what? I guess so. You're really okay with me sticking around? Even if I might not always follow orders? People could get hurt if you let me keep doing things my way. Just like that? I almost can't believe it. I really struggled to come to this decision, you know? I want to stand by your side, but I won't stop standing up for what I believe in. I know I might cause trouble for everyone, but I just, you know, I give up. I've got nothing else to say. I should have just kept my mouth shut. Yeah, I know. Thanks, Professor. Thanks for accepting me for who I am. I'm glad I get to keep fighting by your side.
Ah, there you are. Hello. Oh, yes. Apologies. I'm struggling with some unpleasant thoughts. Since the war began, I've ended so many lives. You and your students got your hands dirty as well. Nobody forced you all to join the fight, of course. You did so of your own volition. Still, there must be something very wrong with the world for it to make children into killers. That's true enough. We've all gotten older. Ah, listen to me. I'm sorry for being so glum. Well said. In truth, I don't think any expression will improve my looks. I'm a brute, no matter what face I pull. Ah, you really are just like Gerald. When I was down in the dumps, he'd cheer me up with a playful quip. He gave me his library of jokes, but when I tell one of them, Nobody laughs at the punchline. They laugh at me. You, on the other hand, well, you inherited the old man's comic talents. I'm feeling pretty perky now, all thanks to you. I can't stop this war by feeling gloomy about it. Onward, to a brighter future. To tell you the truth, that was another line I picked up from Gerald. He taught me everything about life. He was more important to me than anyone in the world. Apart from you, perhaps. Come on, no need to blush. It's the truth. When I look at you or see you fighting in battle, it's like I'm seeing a sibling. But at the same time, it's like seeing something sacred and powerful. Something I must defend. You're so important to the future of Fodlan, and to me. I promise to continue protecting you with the strength of a knight and the love of a big brother. Good. In the name of Gerald, I swear to keep you safe. You're welcome to return the favor, should you feel so inclined.